All right, thank you guys. Welcome to our NBA video here today. For Sunday, May 24th, my name is Brock Page and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. And if you want to see which one of these YouTube picks I'm actually betting on personally here today, don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, we are currently 2-0 in our last couple of $1.99 daily best plays on my Patreon page. And if you want to access today's daily best play, it's only going to cost you just $1.99. We're also hitting at 70% our last 10 $1.99 daily best plays in that very same category. We currently have over 1,225 members who are signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that page is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And with that, let's go ahead and dive into some NBA playoff action. We're going to start with the Wizards taking on the Sixers, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The Philadelphia 76ers are -8, totals 228.5. But as good as the Sixers have been this season, this is a pretty big number for a Philadelphia team who failed to cover the point spread in 6 out of their last 10 meetings with Washington. The Sixers also rank in the bottom half of the league in fourth quarter scoring, bottom half in third quarter points allowed at home. Now they're taking on a Washington team who averages 117 points a night. The Wizards have also been real good against the point spread here recently. They're 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 ball games, and they rank in the top 10 in offensive field goal percentage. Bradley Beal averaged over 31 points a night in the regular season, 4 rebounds, 4 assists for the guard. He also shot 89% from the stripe. Meanwhile, Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double in the regular season himself, 22, 11, and 11 for the multi-time All-Star. Now, Washington is currently in the top 3 in the league in fourth quarter scoring. When it comes to the number in this one, Washington saw 6 out of their last 10 outings get over the line. Philadelphia saw their last 2 straight get over the total themselves. The Sixers are also 60% to the over in their last 10 as well. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Washington Wizards +8, keeping this one close, in the over 228.5. Next ball game, it is going to be Lakers versus the Suns, 3:30 p.m. Eastern start time. The Phoenix Suns are -3, totals 213. But despite an incredible run here this season, I'm a little bit concerned with Phoenix's lack of experience in the postseason. They've also really struggled to cover the point spread down the home stretch here. Phoenix went just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 ball games, 3-6 ATS in their last 9. Phoenix also ranks in the bottom 10 in the league in offensive rebounding. They've gotten the W in just 3 out of their last 10 meetings with the Lakers, so certainly struggling with Los Angeles over the past couple of seasons. And speaking of LA, they finished the regular season 13 games above 500, despite playing most of this season shorthanded. But when they did eventually get healthy and needed to win games, they certainly stepped it up down the home stretch. LA comes into today's contest on a 6-game winning streak, and they allowed just 105 points per contest when they travel. Now, LeBron James is averaging 25 points a night, 7 boards, 7 assists for LeBron. Meanwhile, Anthony Davis is averaging over 21 points a night himself, 7 rebounds, 3 assists for the big forward. Now, this Laker team is in the top 3 in the game in defending the 3-ball on the road. They're also in the top 5 in defensive rebounding. And when it comes to the total on this one, Los Angeles saw 4 out of their last 7 get over the line, throwing out the Golden State contest. Meanwhile, the Suns went 21-15 to the over at the Phoenix Arena, 42-30 to the over for the entire season. I'm going to lean toward the underdog LA Lakers +3 in the over 213. Next ball game, Hawks versus the Knicks, 7 p.m. Eastern tip-off. The New York Knicks are -1, totals 215. Now, the Knicks give up the fewest points out of any other team in the NBA. They're first in points allowed, first in defensive field goal percentage. This Knicks team also held their opponents to just 33% shooting from beyond the arc. Now, offensively, Julius Randle averaged over 24 points a night, 10 rebounds, 6 assists for the forward. Randall also drills over 41% of his three-pointers. Meanwhile, R.J. Barrett is averaging over 17.5 points a night himself, 5 rebounds, 3 assists for the guard. The Knicks have been real good at the Garden this season. They went 25-11 on their home court, and they successfully covered the point spread in 64% of those contests. Now they're taking on an Atlanta team who failed to cover the number in 3 out of their last 5 ball games. The Atlanta Hawks have also really struggled with New York in recent years. They've only won 2 out of their last 10 meetings with New York. And in addition to that, they successfully covered the point spread just once during that 10-game span. Now, Atlanta's in the bottom 10 in the association in defensive field goal percentage on the road, and they're also in the bottom 10 in fourth quarter points allowed on the road as well. Now, total-wise, 5 out of Atlanta's last 9 did get over the number, 19 and 17 to the over when they travel. Meanwhile, the Knicks went 60% to the over in their last 10 meetings with Atlanta. I'm going to lean toward the New York Knicks -1 and the over 215. And with that, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be the Grizzlies versus the Jazz. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Utah Jazz are -9, totals 217. And if you like the Grizzlies in an upset on the road here, they're plus 320 for some money line cash. But as good as Memphis has played down the home stretch here, they failed to cover the point spread in 4 out of their last 5 ball games. Now, the Grizzlies also went just 3-6 against the spread in their last 9, and they tend to give up a lot of points late in games. The Grizzlies are currently in the bottom 5 in third quarter points allowed on the road, and in addition to that, they're also in the bottom 10 in fourth quarter points allowed as well. Now, they're taking on a Utah team who finished a league best 52-20 straight up overall for the season. Now, the Jazz lead the entire NBA in home points allowed. They're giving up just 104 points per contest at the Vivint Smart Home Arena, and they're also holding their opponents to just 32% shooting from beyond the arc there as well. Now, Donovan Mitchell, he's been upgraded to probable. Should see him in action here today. He did miss nearly 20 games with an ankle. But D. Mitch, he's averaging over 26 points per contest, 4 rebounds, 5 assists for the guard. Meanwhile, Bogdan Bogdanovic is averaging 17 points a game himself, along with 3 rebounds. Now, Utah went a staggering 31-5 straight up on their home court this year. They also successfully covered the point spread in nearly 70% of those ball games. Now, when it comes to the number in this one, 5 out of Utah's last 9 contests got over the line, throwing out the Sacramento game. The Jazz also went 6-4 to the over in their last 10 meetings with Memphis. And speaking of the Grizzlies, they actually went 23-14 to the over as the road team this year. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Utah Jazz -9 and the over 217. And with that, guys, now I'm going to jump into my quick pick recap, powered to you by my Patreon website. I like Washington +8 over 228.5. LA Lakers +3 over 213. New York Knicks -1 over 215. Before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are 2-0 in our last 2 $1.99 daily best plays on my Patreon website. We're also hitting at 70% in our last 10 $1.99 daily best plays in that very same category. I'm going to lean toward the Utah Jazz -9 and the over 217. With that, guys, now it's time for some shout outs to our top 10 YouTube commenters over the past couple of days or so. Shout out to Marley and Kat, Charles Garrity, Compton Rob, E. Harris, Drew the Chosen One. Also want to give a shout out to Juan Gomez, Calvin Moulton, Devin Ashwa, William Robinson, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my good friend, Ann Adams. All right, guys, and with that, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind, Patreon's going to bill you the day you sign up, and then the first of every month following that. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Sunday to you, Best of luck to you, and I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.